Welcome to DWBIADDA channel. Please subscribe for latest training videos.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the playlist on computer vision. In the last lectures, we saw about the bitwise operation, masking concepts, and extracting a particular color from an image using Opencv. We will now move forward into more advanced concepts of Opencv, and today in this hands-on practical coding example, we will be blurring a particular part of an image using Opencv. So what is the most practical purpose of blurring that you can think of in your daily lives? Maybe let's say you are typing in some of your account details and you don't want the other person to see your sensitive information. So this is when you actually use a blurring to actually hide certain parts from an image. So like instead of blurring the whole image as we did last time, this time we only want to like blur a particular part of the image, and we want to see like how it's done in OpenCV. So without wasting much of your time, let's get started on this. It will cover again all concepts from your numpy to blurring and maybe some concepts in between as well. So I hope you already have revised all of these examples. So what I will do is I will go up and fire my Jupyter notebook, and I will import the required libraries. I will import numpy as np and import cv2. Then what I will do is I will just write img is equals to cv2.imread trial.jpg. And if you want to see what the trial image is, it's the same image, is the same Pokemon image we have been using for so long. So I am show windows comma img cv2 dot wait key 0 and cv2 dot destroy all windows, something like this. And this is what my image will actually look like. All right, and now let's say I want to blur the face of Pikachu. So for this I actually need to create a region of interest, and for creating a region of interest I actually need to know the coordinates. Yes, I don't know the coordinates, but I will have a rough understanding of what maybe the coordinates is, and I will on based on it I will actually blur a particular region, and I will try to blur it as close as to Pikachu's face, because this is what we actually will be doing upon. But even if the blur is actually shifted, you need to actually shift the coordinates, and then the blur would actually be working perfectly fine. Nevertheless, let's create a region of interest. So think of region of interest as a bounding box of rectangle which are having two polarly opposite or diagonally opposite points, that is, one is the top left and other is the bottom right. So I would have to define these 2 points, and I would define top left somewhere as some x and y coordinates. But before that I need to know what is the shape of my image. So np dot shape, and I will call in img. So I see the shape of my image is actually 800 comma 1200. So maybe let's say it's 150 comma let's say 180 is one of my coordinates. And then the I mean this is the uh, let's just give it as TL, which is top left, and this is bottom right, that is the diagonally opposite coordinates, which is maybe let's say 550 comma uh, maybe I don't know, like let's say 500. So this is the top left coordinate and this is the bottom right coordinate, and based on this I now need to have x, y, w and h, which are the requirements in like drawing a region of interest. So what would x and y be? Yes, x would be TL of 0, and y would actually be something like TL of 1, right? These would be x and y. And then what would be w and h be? So w and h would actually be a subtraction of like bottom right minus top left, and again bottom right minus top left, right? So you can actually draw a rectangle on a coordinate axis, and you can see how this x, y, w and h are appearing. It's nothing but just playing with the coordinate axes. So I will write br of 0 minus tl of 0 comma br of 1 minus TL of 1. Uh, yes, minus TL of 1. So this is what your x, y, w, and h looks like. Now we have like coordinates, and now we want to actually define a region of interest. So say region of interest actually is ROI, IMG, and then what I would do is I will actually use a numpy slicing operation. So I will have a slicing from y to y plus h and x from x plus w. So this is what your numpy slicing operations looks like, and this will actually create a region of interest for you. So this is where we actually want to blur our image. Now what we will be required to do is we will have to like call in the blur function. So cv2 dot Gaussian blur is what we will be actually using here. In Gaussian blur, we require a region of interest. So let's say our region of interest is actually ROI, and then I would have to give two arguments. In this case, I would give the arguments as 51 comma 51 comma 0. In case you are not comfortable with what these parameters are in Gaussian blur, you can actually put up a question mark and see the coordinates. So I will go ahead and run this. And now, like, what I will do is I will put the blur back into my original image. So what will happen is I will just call img y comma y plus h x comma x plus w is equals to blur, uh, is equals to blur. So this is what I have actually put up my like original image back. So blur on the original image back, and I will go ahead and run this. And now, like, what I will do is cv2.im show. I will show you window 1 and maybe the blur part and the img part. So this is the blur part, and cv2 dot wait key of 0, and then cv2 dot destroy all windows, and then cv2 dot im show window 2, and then the img, and then cv2 dot wait key of 0, and then cv2 dot destroy all windows, something like this. And now I would actually run this code. So as you can see, this is what my blur part actually is. And if you want to see the part like which has been actually blurred, so like I wanted to blur Pikachu's face, but the blurring has been shifted to Charmander's face. But anyhow, you can actually make it like we have actually blurred this part as compared to our original image. Now based upon like the coordinates, the coordinates we actually have, we can actually shift the position of the blur, and Pikachu's face will be blurred instead of Charmander's. But anyhow, we have blurred a particular part of image, and this is what we required. So I hope you now understand like how to actually do blurring using Opencv. So I will give you a quick recap once again. It's very easy. First, you have to define two coordinates, which will be the diagonally opposite coordinates and will be the top left and the bottom right. And based on that, you have to point out the four variables x, y, w, and h. And once you have got x, y, w, and h, you have to create a region of interest by using the numpy slicing operation. And then, like, we just apply the blur on the numpy on the region of interest, and then we put that blur back into the image. So this is what we actually did. I hope you are now familiar and like quite comfortable with the concepts of practical blurring in OpenCV. So let's see you in the next one. Thank you.